stricken with, any type of disease may tune into our podcast because they see us on the net and be like, okay, I can relate. So there's, of course, much to be said, and other people may see it differently than how you view your life. Because now that I sit and think about it, my life hasn't been boring at all this week. So thank you, AG. You always know what to say to get my wheels turning. Sometimes I need that jump start. And then usually, and those, correct me if I'm wrong, usually those are the shows that run an hour and a half on days that I say I don't have shit to talk about, right?
Shit talking Sundays, because every day is shit talking Sundays. You know, you told me that, well, more so, you promised me that you would do it no matter how you felt and all that. And when you say to me, I don't really think I have much to say, it does not matter. It's your journey, and you're just recapping your week. And if it's boring,
Yeah,
some people are here because they're inspired that you're even able to do some of the things that you're doing or are going to do. I just
right.
want
You're
to
right.
be an inspiration. So on the days that you're down, that's the reason why we have viewers, is because we want them to come on here and we want them to say to you, hey, girl, um, we understand what you're going through. We all have our ups and downs, and now we're a support group for each other. For me, I don't. I am blessed by the Most High that I wasn't or haven't been stricken with MS. But I do feel, if someone out there is suffering from it, if I can help put people like minded or like individuals who are going through the same situation, then by all means, it doesn't cost anything for us to just sit here and have a conversation. So,
Right.
you know, if I
Yeah.
help motivate you to help motivate others, then it's part of the pay it forward process.
Right. And every time, and I may not say this enough, but just a few days, hours into after our show, and I said I think our last show, thanking those who acknowledge um, the podcast and sharing my journey and being so frank with just the social media period. Because it's hard and you don't see many people giving it to you the way we do, just raw. We're not set up with a fancy background, and I'm not always made up and just basically telling my story as like if it's a book, or scripted. There's nobody on the net doing it like you are. I'm just a small piece of that. It wouldn't the wheels wouldn't be turning if it wasn't for you and your skills and your time. So we do reach other warriors, that we do, and that in itself, of course, like you say, that's the whole purpose, why you've taken on this, every Tuesday, is to reach those people. And I thank you, because you lifted me today when I was just feeling like I really don't want to. And you've changed my mindset and gave me a little boost, and here I am. So thank you
You
very
know,
much.
um, everybody out there who is suffering from something, no matter what it is, depression, anxiety, um, phobia,
Mhm.
anything, mindset, the proper mindset is going to be just the beginning of your journey to being able to be free from whatever it is that is bothering you. I mean, obviously,
Right.
there's ailments that people have that are physical that can't be changed with your mind. Although, with that being said, sometimes your mind will help you overcome some of your physical disabilities because the mind is stronger than the
Mhm.
body. because even as women out there, from what I've seen during childbirth, um, women physically can withstand a lot of punishment. Um,
Indeed.
and it takes a strong mental state, and your
Mhm.
mindset had to be for you to be able to withstand that. So
Right.
you prepared yourself, and the body gave you 9 months normally to prepare yourself to transition into childbirth so that you're prepared. So anything, any ailment, anything that you're going through, if you keep telling your mind or telling yourself, I can't, I can't,
Mhm.
I'm not, you will not. You won't.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
The mind is powerful, and negativity is even more powerful. If you stay in that mindset and activity, oh, you'll swing yourself right into depression and everything. And also the mind can get you out of that depression. You think about a lot of people who suffer from depression, they're not on medication, but they can bring themselves out of it, So it's just like you say, the mindset, and it's not all mindset. Sometimes for someone, well, physically, like you said, but it's where your mind is. It can it can teach you a lot of things, the mind, whether you're physical, or not. It's just all about, that mindset, where you want to stay and where you get yourself at.
I'll give you two examples. One is if you were in the hospital, you're not feeling good, you still have hope for life, right?
Hmm.
Then the doctor comes in and gives you bad news that's terminal, potentially. Immediately, your body is going to go, like, that feeling, well, your heart just dropped.
Yeah, yeah, like
So
you
your mindset controls how your body is going to react to something.
react.
So, um,
Yeah,
that's one example. A second example is how your mind will eventually heal itself and overcome any adversity. When you lose a loved one, immediately the pain is there instantaneously. You can go from being smiling, happy, cheery, whatever, somebody can
right.
give you some bad news, and boom, your
Yeah, in an
mindset
instant.
changes in an instant. In the blink of an eye, you can go from happy to crying, bawling. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
I didn't necessarily understand that until my father passed away. When my father passed away, I went from having a nice conversation with my girl to very distraught.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
but over time, your body, not necessarily your body, your mental state starts to heal a little bit, and it
Right.
learns to help you deal with the loss. Not
Right.
saying that you will ever overcome it
Or
um,
forget.
or forget, because who am I to say that? I know that my father passed away, and I think about him all the time. There's always something that will remind me of him, or
Yeah, right.
whatever. So I'm not the one to tell you that, don't worry, it will pass and you'll forget, because as far as I'm concerned, you'll never forget. And part of the reason why people live forever is what you do with the legacy that is left for you. Granted, some of us have disabilities or medical conditions that may potentially shorten your lifespan. But if you
Mhm.
make a couple of mental changes and physical changes to help fight, because your body is a machine that wants to fight. It fights for life. Think about this. The moment you were born, the first thing that your body tries to do is what?
Get that air.
Breathe. It
Yeah.
automatically knows it needs to fight for air. And as soon as it gets that air, it knows, your body
Mhm.
knows, okay, it's on. Now the struggle really begins. So,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, um, so just
Yeah.
understand, when you don't allow something that's temporarily in your mind, situation wise, affect your future. Yes, depression is real. I've went through it. I've experienced it. So
Yeah, so have I.
I'm definitely not going to try to uh, discontinue it by any means, or make it sound like it's less than what it is, because depression is a serious situation, and
Right.
if it gets out of hand, there are lines you can call. Please call this number, um, suicide
Mhm.
hotline, just because there is, look, nothing is worth losing your life that can't be fixed,
Right. And
except a
a lot of people feel as though if they speak on depression, that people may take it in a way that they may be, going crazy, or they're hearing voices, or it's even though it's so talked about nowadays, but still, it has that stigma to it still. And anyone out there suffering, you can get help. There is help. There's medication. There's counseling, and stuff like that. Unfortunately, we do have those who have haven't and did not take that step, and many people have lost their lives because of depression, mental illness. So um it's rough to say, to speak on treating someone with depression as opposed to someone not getting help, with their depression. It's something that we humans deal with. It's mental illness is really stricken a lot of people. But you know there's help out there. There's crisis hotlines if someone feels, in despair. Always reach out to someone, or even your family, or even your doctors.
you know
So
hell, you can reach out to me. Here's my hotline. You call me directly, I'll talk to you. you
yeah.
know eh, I don't want anybody, there's not a single person out there that should feel like they're alone. Call
Right.
me. I'm
Right.
AG the Dad. That's my direct hotline number. You will reach me direct. If not directly, leave a message, and I will call you back. If you leave a number, I will call you back as fast as I possibly can. I do check my messages. Um, so um,
Exactly.
this
And
number
nice.
isn't gonna be available all the time, because I'm not going to keep it up all the time, because sometimes I do
it,
get swamped. But in, in this
yes.
situation, please reach out.
Yes. So let me get into a little bit about my week. So since last week, well, as of right now, I am sitting with my foot propped up. You guys, my toe is throbbing. I dropped this thing full of ice and water in it. This is steel. Don't know if you guys could hear that. It's heavy. I dropped it on my big toe. Don't ask me why I didn't move my foot out of the way. I knew it was falling. I was trying to get some ice out of the dispenser and hold that up to the refrigerator dispensing. The ice was tumbling out everywhere, and I let go of that to grab all the ice falling out, and that thing just fell right on top of my big toe. My big toe was swollen, and as I'm sitting here, it's pushing. Now the swelling is pushing my side, the second toe out. My toe, if you guys have ever hurt your toe, that summer gun hurts. It throbs so bad, and I look bald headed. Sorry, y'all, but I put my hair out today. Yeah, I'm a mess today. But anyhow, so my foot, because of my toe, and it's on the bad side, the left side. My left side is so sensitive. If a Q-tip dropped on my foot, it hurt. So could you imagine how I felt? I actually screamed. I almost started crying. I was home by myself. Well, my dad was home, but he's basically two doors out through the kitchen, and he wasn't going to hear me. But um, I was devastated. I didn't. It hurt so bad. I was like, "Oh my god!" And yeah, so I'm in pain right now. My toe is just my foot. It's just throbbing. But anyways, so that friggin' I didn't need that to happen today at all. Okay, that was start of my morning, kind of like, and I was like, eh. So, but anyhow, um, I don't think it's broke anything, so that'll be good. If it doesn't act right, I'll go to the doctors. But anyhow, so um during the week, to be honest, guys, I have been in every direction that you could think of, not just north, south, east, and west. I think I stumbled across the Dingham site somewhere. I went somewhere that really doesn't even exist. That's how busy in each direction I've been. I found some new directions. Um, with as you guys know, my last two videos, I have kept you in the loop with my lung um, screening test, and I am still waiting for my pulmonary appointment, as because my doctor sent over a referral to pulmonologist and they didn't fill out the proper paperwork, so they have to redo it. So now my appointment is held up a little bit, but that's okay. So been dealing with that. Had a lot of doctor's info going on with my dad. Um and I'll let you guys in on that too, as that's just part of my life period. My father had a lung screening done as well, and his lung screening didn't come back so good. And we Um, I just talked to his doctor yesterday. We have a conference appointment, Zoom appointment on Monday. I did talk to my dad. I knew for a couple of days because I'm in control of his medical stuff, and I had got the results that my dad has characteristics of cancer. He's got a mass on his left lung, and some lesions going on right and left sides of his lung, and he has underlying emphysema. So um, I've been dealing with that. Just I think not speaking much about it, but I carried this info for maybe 5 6 days before I talked to him. And I didn't want to talk to him alone. I wanted to talk to him when the doctor talked to us, but every day I felt guilty, like, you know this and he doesn't. Every morning he and I speak, and off and on through the day we talk, and I was like, man, I know this. I felt like I was a little kid lying to my parent, and I spoke to his sister, and we thought it would be best, not to say anything until we got more info from his doctor, if there's going to be options for treatment and such. We still don't know that, but we do know. Um, I know that um, the first move is to speak about biopsy, and then go from there. And my dad, he, when he and I first spoke about it, I knew already that the direction that he would go in. My dad had cancer before in his vocal cords, and so he's a cancer survivor. He doesn't have a voice anymore. It's really, 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 really super duper low and raspy due to damage to his vocal cords from the radiation. And I've seen his vocal cords, what they look like. They went down, and just a couple months ago they had this, well, last year sometime we did a checkup to see why his voice was doing what it was doing. And so they went in through his nose with a scope, and looked around down there, and his vocal cords look like beef jerky, um literally. And that's from radiation and stuff. But the doctors, when he was diagnosed with that, they had said, if any cancer you want, it would be vocal cord, because it has over 90% success rate, of being gone and not coming back. And that was maybe 30 years ago, maybe 20, maybe 25 years ago, 25 years ago, in which, he hasn't had any problems at all, but just over time. And that kind of fried his vocal cords. And unfortunately, he didn't stop smoking cigarettes, and excuse me, he likes his Mary Jane, and I think that's fine. My dad doesn't wear glasses or, anything. He's 82. Um, so I have been dealing with this all last week, and on top of just daily life. Two of my one stepson and my son, two different cities, got into car accidents, and so I think um, mentally, I'm not one to stress off anything. To be honest, I'm not a stressor, but I think I started feeling a couple days after getting all that news about my dad, and I started feeling overwhelmed a little bit. It hit me for about 2 days. I was feeling like something was on me and I needed to get it off. I felt bothered, and it was a different feeling. I don't normally feel like that. And just me being me. And of course, everybody deals with things, their own way. And what I keep thinking to myself is, I have MS. How am I going to deal with, um, certain situations that may arise with my father, being, um, if he is diagnosed with, with cancer, which the doctor said they won't tell me now, yes, even though it's down on paper, they need a biopsy and stuff. So I haven't had to deal with any major news like that, close, intermediate family, to know how am I going to deal with, um, you know, the things that we're going to be faced with. You know, a lot of doctors back and forth, a lot of, if my dad chooses, he did tell me he doesn't want surgery. He doesn't want chemo. He doesn't want any kind of therapy. This is day of when I told him about the results. So I'm hoping, you know, that he's changed his mind, or when we talk to a doctor on Monday, that he'll have a change of heart, and I know I've been emotional since, of course, because I'm human and I'm a girl, since my diagnosis. And sometimes I'm more emotional about certain things, strike me different now that I'm ill, um, because just, the whole MS thing. But I noticed, and I've said this before now, April made a year that I've been hospital free and relapse free. Now, my last relapse, that was a new lesion on my brain, but in the part of my brain that controls my emotion. And I knew something was different because, um, and not to say that I'm more emotional because that lesion was there. No, I don't feel different in that sense. But when I get emotionally, like physically crying or something like that, my head hurts real bad instantly. So that is different. I've never felt that until I had the new lesion April of 2021. And that's what brought me to being put on Kesimpta. And and you know, shout out to Kesimpta, the makers, because I've been on three other medications. This was my fourth, and I haven't felt better than now. And of course, I'm not symptom free by any means. I'm not. Um, I still live every day, and I know that I have MS because those symptoms remind me, hey, you're sick with MS. I feel it every day, but um, I am. up on my feet. I'm doing a podcast. I have a channel. I'm still taking care of grandkids, planning birthday parties, camping trips. Do I need help actually putting that in motion? Yes, I do. But hey, we all need a little help, anyways. So, that's a given in my age. So it's not like, okay, we make camping trips, camping plans, and then I'm the one that's going to haul everything to the truck. No, mm-mm. That's not going to happen. I mean, who would allow that to happen anyway, right? So, um, I may need a little bit more help than someone else who isn't stricken with MS, a healthy person. But me being a woman and being my age, then, that kind of comes a little bit with territory anyway. It's just the key parts on my family knowing that I may need help on a day that we're not going camping or we're not having a birthday party, um, just around home. Yes, I need help. I may not be able to lift my laundry basket if it's full and Larry has to do it, so and that's okay. I'm a woman at my age, and then I have this little added um visitor that visits me every day. So, you know, um that sometimes is just a given, and it kind of fits into my life and my lifestyle, and everyone that I'm around, you know, has accepted it. So, um that and those ways to be said, um it makes things, a little bit easier. The people around you know as well. And that's something I wanted to talk about too this evening, because I've been seeing a lot about um those like us aren't getting, the proper help at home. And if you are suffering with MS and you cannot fully take care of yourself, do your laundry, bathe by yourself, and cook, there's programs that you could reach out to, like in-home supportive services. And if you qualify, if you are on Medi-Cal and you qualify, Medi-Cal is one of the qualifying pieces that you need, then you can actually hire your own caregiver to come out and help you, do those daily tasks, and those of you um, who have MS and you have significant others, um, or family that you live with, and they really don't know quite your situation, because I see it. y- Don't be ashamed, or don't be too proud or too tough to let someone know that you need help, regardless if you're male or female. I see it more, affecting our male community. And that's okay for you to actually need, or, need someone to take care of you. And it may not be 100%, of course, and it may be 100%, but that's okay. If you don't let someone know that, you're hurting and you're in need, then you won't be able to get the help for you to feel better and to have a little bit more decent, life, to live. Sometimes you got to grab it by the horns and do what's best for you. And if that means, sucking up a little bit of that pride, um, it just may make you feel better, in the long run. And you might realize, hey, I should have did this long time ago. So, um, everything, we're getting packed up for camping, and as you guys know, I've said this before, I'm doing it in spurts and days. And not this coming Friday, but next Friday is our camping trip. So this is leading up, of course, you guys, I've talked about it and stuff, and I'm really excited to go. And we're going to be gone 3 nights, 4 days in the cabin. This will be our third year, and we love it. The kids love it. Outdoor pool, there's a lake, there's paddle boats. You can rent an angler, go out on the lake and go fishing. There's a creamery on site. There's an old country store there, and just out on the grounds, you look up and you're just mountains all around you, beautiful trees. So we're all like, oh man, that the 26 can't get here fast enough. So day by day, I'm taking it slow so I don't burn myself out and cause myself to go into a tizzy and then be sick for camping. No, that's one thing that I've learned, to do things in small increments, and I still feel that I'm progressing. So that is key for me. Long as I feel like, hey, I'm getting something done, and that's just my brain. Anyway, that's me. So, but it's working pretty good. So this week, um, talking to doctors, planning our trip, planning doctor's appointment, and I've been taking that very slowly, but getting enough done to where it's not sitting there, egging my brain on like, oh, you didn't take care of me today, you didn't do this, you didn't, you know what I mean? That I don't like. So I'll do enough to where I feel like, okay, I got that done my back. I don't have to think of it right now, and I am able to move on to do something else. That's me. That's how I work things. That's best for me. And a lot of that stuff, guys, I'm sitting down doing it. So it's not really anything physical. Doctor's appointments, writing things down, writing notes down, things, last minute prep. Preparing for camping. I want to make sure I get everything that I need with me to go camping, so that way I'm not uncomfortable. I'm even taking a heating pad, stuff like that, because if I get to, just say, and I'm thinking ahead and just thinking, okay, all possibilities. Okay, so if, because I want to go swimming, or I should say I want to get in the pool. I'm not going to say I want to go swimming. No, I'm going to say I want to get in the pool. I do want to go fishing out there with everyone. So um, if I take in a little too much, may start to feel some fatigue, discomfort, and heat calms that down across my chest. So I'm doing these little things day by day, like, okay, what if this, they'll come to mind, and I'll be like, okay, let me get this together. So I may have a boatload of stuff to take, but, um, I want to be as comfortable as possible out there. I don't want to be Debbie Downer, because I don't feel well, that may cast, a shadow on everyone, and they may not like, be like, oh, I don't want to go do this without mom, or, I may not want to go do this because grandma can't go and stuff like that. So, um, no, I'm doing things very slowly and just intermittent, so I don't exhaust myself and throw myself into, something that I don't want, especially with camping just around the corner. So, um, I've prepared myself, and that's just me. That's, I think about when I say that, is because I kind of put my own self on like a time schedule or on restriction, and for me that's good because then I know my limits, right? So a lot of us with MS have to do things, just little by little, because we run out of energy so quick. A lot of people nowadays are using the spoon theory. If you guys don't know what the spoon theory is, it's a woman who have come up with this, and you you know how much energy you have a day. So you basically say, okay, well, if you have 5 spoons, you use one to shower in the morning, and then you use another spoon to, prepare your breakfast, so on and so on. But you need to save, if you have a long day, then you still need 2 spoons left to get you through later afternoon and evening, stuff like that. So I definitely plan play my day out like that as well. For me, I don't know about other warriors, but for me, majority of my energy is in the morning. That's when Um, After I get up and things get to flowing, I'll know how my day is going to be. So that's when I really utilize that energy to take care of my priorities that I have for myself for the day. Even if it's cooking, whatever, I cook very early, and it's done. It's done, and that's it. So I use my spoons very carefully. I have recently said to myself, just in thinking and doing my stuff, I'm like, okay, I call that energy or batteries, I'll just be like, yep, I need another battery soon, or, stuff like that. And that's referring to my energy level. Um, some of us now have more energy still, in us than other warriors. I'm not able to go out and run and jog, and there's other warriors, who are, so this disease doesn't affect every one of us the same. We all can have different, or we could have some of the same symptoms, but also some different. That's just the way that it affects our body and our system. Early on, I had problems with my legs. Prior, I would say 5, 6 years prior to diagnosis, I was having problems with my legs, and didn't understand why. Just thought, okay, I'm getting older. My doctor kept saying, well, you're getting older, and menopause this and menopause that. And I was like, okay, so, but lo and behold, it was a little bit, more serious than menopause. Um, so, and a little bit back to speaking and knowing how to deal with, bad news. you know that worries me sometimes, and now right now, because I don't know when things start to happen, how well am I going to deal with that, emotional side of things. And I don't know if there's a plan to actually say, um I'm not gonna, do this, and gonna try not to stress off that. And how is I'm gonna not try and be emotional, because getting that kind of news about your parent is devastating, you know, and you're going to be emotional. It's going to affect you, you know. And with my father living here with us and stuff, we're going to see firsthand, start to finish. And hoping that there are options, and that he will take the doctor on and do the and do treatment, and um, I don't think there's a place where I'm going to say, you know, you're going to have to turn off your emotions, because it it's going to make you, feel sick, or feel sicker than what you normally would be. Because one thing with MS, you know, if you stress, um, if you're just upset much too long, it can throw you into a flare. So, um, on that side, I've been thinking to myself, okay, how am I going to deal with this? You know, and I'm hoping that I can still feel how I need to feel, but not let this throw me into um a flare. So that's just one of my concerns about um dealing with things that are really emotional, um because that's big for me. If I could just cry and I'm in pain, then could you imagine, you know just something worse than taking on a big ordeal. So um I may be looking into reading up on, how to deal with some emotional things, and just so I could have, something just to like a backup, to say, okay, if I feel myself going down that path, um, you know, I will have that backup to reel myself back in, and be like, this is somewhere that you don't need to go, because it'll be hard on you if you go down that road. And that kind of sucks, huh? To where you can't be you because of what the MS may do to you. That's just kind of a fear for me. Um, I don't know if any other warriors out there feel the same, or have you warriors have dealt, with some, not so good news for a loved one, and have been down that path. Really, how did you cope with it, and how did it affect your multiple sclerosis? Did you see your symptoms getting worse, in time over something? If you've seen someone, suffering, or, just the emotional stress of, that person being ill and sick, or in the hospital, the news, um, of someone, that you love, how did it, um, how did you keep that manageable and in control, um, with your MS. So, um, I'll switch it up a little bit, with that. But please, by all means, keep me and my father in your guys' prayers, as I will do the same for you. I think what to do is maybe do a Q&A. Okay. Um, I will be open to answer any questions my viewers may have about my journey with MS, or how I deal with things in life, with MS. You may not be things that maybe that don't work for you may work for me, and vice versa, in those terms of how do you cope, um how I dealt with, talking to my family about me having MS. How did I get to this point in my disease 5 years later? There's a lot of questions, that can be answered just solely off of, my journey. I've been, um, you know, admitted into the hospital quite a bit. I've been home and on flares, quite a bit, being treated, with solumedrol. That's only at the hospital. So there's some things I think maybe that, newbies that are just being diagnosed. I'm seeing a lot of people, on my page, that they're talking about they're newly diagnosed, and what should they look for? So I think, the next show I'm going to, we're going to go back and recap. It's been since January during doing our first podcast, and I think it'll be a good time to reflect and go back and bring that information back up to our new viewers, and let them know exactly what I've been through, my symptoms, what started, how it led up to a medication. Was that my decision to be put on a disease modifying treatment? And it's always abbreviated, to DMT. So if you don't know, then I'll just, spread that little bit of info real quick with you. Um, so there may be questions that, I do get asked questions on my channel. So I think I'll do a show next week. Will be on, um, questions, even live questions. Get on, and get your questions answered live. And I'll also put together, a bunch of questions, and even AG can have some questions that maybe, he always says think outside the box, and he's good for that. So he may think of some questions to ask that one of us warriors may not have thought to ask or got answers to. As you guys know, we all suffer differently. We are all diagnosed, some diagnosed the same. There's I wasn't diagnosed like a lot of other warriors. I was not diagnosed by my spinal fluid being withdrawn, out of my system. The surgeon that did do mine was a two fails in one day. So I was never diagnosed by, the spinal cord fluid, and that's how you get a diagnosis. So, but there was enough on the MRI to say she has, multiple sclerosis. So that's how I was diagnosed. Okay. So there's leading up to before you could be put on a disease modifying treatment if that's your plan, your route. So I think we'll go back and present all these questions and answers again on what I've done through this journey thus far. It may help um, you know, others out there that are looking to be on a disease modifying treatment, or they're going to start, or they're going through a period diagnosis and waiting to see a neurologist. There's a lot of that right now on my news feeds and stuff. So I think next week will be a perfect time just to give some collective information out there and supporting information to some warriors out there that are actually just coming into their journey with multiple sclerosis. And I think that'll be very, very educating for our warriors out there that are just um, being diagnosed with MS and needing treatment. So I think that's what I'll do next week. So please, 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 by all means, share, subscribe to the channel, comment, like our videos. The more people we're able to reach, the more awareness we spread. Without me seeing other people's posts and their awareness videos, I wouldn't have been able to make decisions, look in directions that I did coming into a diagnosis with multiple sclerosis, because it was for the person in front of me. Okay, so now it's my turn to give back the awareness and the experience that I've had in these last 5 years with my multiple sclerosis and ongoing. Um, I I know that I'm not alone, and other warriors, you are not alone either. You're not alone. Sometimes you may feel that you are because this disease can put you in that place, and it's hard to deal with jobs, friends. You don't want friends to know, your job needs to know, but you can't tell them. There's a lot. It's life changing. But when you have someone in front of you that has already been there, done that, and you can, you know, conversate with them, the burden feels lesser when you're not dealing with
Mhm.
this alone and you see success stories. It doesn't always have to be bad, but we will never leave one of our own behind. You're not alone. You may have a physical deficit that another warrior does not, but in the mind and living the life of multiple sclerosis, you're never alone. There's always someone like myself that's out there spreading awareness, doing what we do every Tuesday here at 6 p.m. on Shit Talking Sundays. So that's the importance of these videos, is to share, and give us a like for bringing the content to you guys, and getting it across to other people that that need it. Some of us are less fortunate and don't have the family, the background. Some people are dealing with this by themselves, but there's a whole community of us that they could reach out to, or they need to know that we exist. And that's how we'll get the message to them, is by our viewers spreading our videos here on Shit Talking Sundays.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, Questions, I guess. Since you say I think outside the box,
Hmm.
well, instead of maybe thinking outside the box, let's think inside the bowl. Since
The
this is
bowl.
Sundays,
At the bowl.
when you uh, did at any point when you were taking a shit talking Sunday, did you notice that the smell was different when you found out you had MS?
The
Outside the
smell.
box, outside the box. You know,
See?
for me, I'm gonna tell you like this. My whole life, when I took a shit talking Sundays, it was at least to me, it didn't stink. I didn't think it stunk. I think my shit smelled like poopery.
A
But
poopery.
but that's
Yeah.
beside the
Well,
point, right?
hey, but with that being said, one
Mhm.
thing that I can say, because see, there's always something to talk about related to MS. But one thing I can say is yes. And I've heard it from more than one warrior. And it's not so much the poopery, but it's the peepery when you're on certain disease
Medication.
modifying treatment.
Well, yeah.
It changes
Well, that
the smell.
the smell of your urine definitely changes. Just like when you're on what is that one? Penicillin.
Right.
The doctor will tell you, oh yeah, your urine is going to definitely smell a whole different way. And I mean,
Stuff. Yeah, but a lot of people are not informed. Ag, I seen someone, and why I bring this up is because I've seen uh, a warrior ask me. Well, actually, they did ask me, "Hey, did you notice that your pee changed? Being on this medicine." So it's just again awareness. Okay, that's all it is. It takes seconds to spread that awareness, and for some people now, I would, if that happened to me, I'd be like, oh my God, why is this? I'd panic. You know what I mean? Then I'd be on the phone with my medical team, find out and asking, hey, does this do this? So it's all about spreading awareness, spreading the information that and it can help someone else. So you never know exactly, what the questions may be. And I or someone else in the audience may just have an answer. You know what I mean? So if we can get some people built up in our audience to ask questions, and we spread the answers, it's going to hit many, 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 many people.
yeah, don't be afraid to ask any questions. I mean, I know there's viewers and you want to remain silent, but uh, being more vocal, at least more texting vocal, will help you to get some of the answers that you may want. Because obviously, you're here for a reason.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
Please subscribe, hit that notification button, like, share. We get this algorithm going so that we can touch even more people than we already are. For me, like I always say, if I touch even one person's soul, this is worth it to me because I know it potentially is helping them in some way. I know
Right.
for me, just doing it with you motivates you to want to live more productive of a life because today you were like, oh, I don't
Yeah.
want to do it. I'm just
Right.
going to shoot you a video, AG. And I said, no, no, we just need to do it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
uh, I'll let you know. And then
Yeah.
you text me in the 11th hour. And I was like, oh, well, by now you would have already sent me something. So I already knew. And that's why when you text me, okay, I'll just do the show. And I said, I already know I know.
Yeah.
What you think I wasn't prepared? I'm doing the same thing I would always do. You're, I just have to remind you of your promise. Your promise was now, if
Yeah.
you're gone, that's one thing. Your camping trip, if it falls on the day, guess what? Um, Find a place you have reception, pre-record something and send it to me and it'll still air at the same time. I
Right.
fell in the creek today. My phone got wet. I dropped it in rice. If you see little rice chunks all over my stuff, that's me still trying to make AG's deadline.
Right. Right. Yes, and I'm glad you did, because I know um, that it does reach my warrior community, and that's the importance of it. I will say this before I tell everyone good night. Um, I know for me, getting information about my disease that I'm stricken with for the rest of my life, and unless there's a cure, um, it has made a difference in my life with MS. The when you don't know the unknown, that leaves the door open for a lot of hesitation and a lot of not known. A lot of questions get unanswered. When you educate yourself, then you have answers. Some may not be all what it's cracked up to be, eh, that you may hope that it would have been a different answer, but you don't know that until multiple sclerosis is not a death sentence. Okay. Educate yourself. And the more that you learn, and for me, it's changed my life. It really has. MS changed my life, but educating myself on this disease has turned my life around with MS. Now I'm living MS. I'm not letting MS live me. That's MS is not my death sentence. It's
Man,
not.
I know people that are letting MS live them, and it's a shame. Um, I used to try to motivate them to, man, push yourself. I mean, I'm not saying kill yourself, but
Right.
push yourself a little bit. You, anybody that has a disability or whatever, if you don't push yourself, your body's not going to do it. You know, true story. My grandson, he was born with cerebral palsy, and the doctors told us he would not walk. He probably won't talk right. He won't this, he won't do that. And let me tell you, he does all those things,
Mm,
walks, runs.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
for me, it was because his mother would not give up on him and let him be complicit.
Yeah.
He he was he was helped to strive to be more and to be stronger. So if you choose to be weak, that's a choice that you make, and nobody should fault you for it. But also, don't act like you can when you can, and when you don't feel like it, you don't, and use it as an excuse. Any disease.
Right. Right. Sometimes it's tough, guys. I'm going to say good night. And I appreciate every last one of you guys. I know that I'm not alone out in this multiple sclerosis world. And thank you, warriors, for always letting me know that you appreciate us bringing these videos to you. And hopefully, I will see you guys lined up in the chat room next Tuesday on Shit Talking Sundays at 6 p.m. for a Q&A night. Okay, don't miss out. It'll be very informative. You may have some questions that I've never been asked before. Maybe I could ask you a couple of questions that I don't have an answer to as well. I need information just as well as you do. We are in this together. Okay. AG, thank you again tonight, friend, for putting that fire under my cheeks and getting me on here. I appreciate it. Stephanie, love you. Until next Tuesday, guys, stay well.
Right on, right on. Hey, everybody. Speaking of stay well, um, if you look in the description, I have a link to a life insurance quote. Um, if you don't already have life insurance, let me tell you, it's so much cheaper if you get it now than waiting 20 or 30 years. Because most people, um, you don't think about it until you feel like uh, death is at your door. And at that point, so in a lot of cases, life insurance is not affordable. The younger you start, there are children policies out there. Um, whole life policies for children that are really less than $1 a day. Um, if you hit the link in the description for the AG Life Insurance quote, I will make sure that your quote will be answered. You will um, help better yourself, your family, for misfortunes that are inevitable. Nobody wants to talk about it. I didn't really take it as serious as I should until my father passed. And that kind of inspired me a little bit to get into the insurance business, the life insurance business, along with a good friend of mine. So I passed my bar, or I passed my life insurance license with the state. And so if you need life insurance, hit the description. Till then, stay blessed, be blessed, each one, everyone, teach one, and pay it forward, because you never know what anybody's situation may or may not be and what they're going through in life. And sometimes just reaching out saying, hey, have a blessed day, could change their whole life. All right. Peace. I'm out. AG the Dad. Shit Talking Sundays. In the life of a warrior. Peace.
Sunday morning drama is calling up my mama. Drama.